Good evening, everybody. I'm back. I am your host, Jack Remington of Quintessence Productions, LLC. Last week, we had a great week. We went 5 wins and no losses. As you can see on the board, I had another 5-0 week, and the week after, I won 2-3. That's a recurring problem that I have. It's hard to go 5-0 2 weeks in a row. It's hard to pick any game 1-0. So we're going to go over the games this week, who we're taking and who we like, and a little bit about it. First game we're going to take, we're going to take a road team. We're going to take the Houston Texans +1. The Indianapolis Colts are hosting. This is a division rivalry game. Okay, both these teams beat the Kansas City Chiefs at Kansas City, while Kansas City was reeling just a bit. So we're taking the Houston Texans because we're getting the better quarterback, the better head coach, and the better defense. And the Colts probably had the better offensive line, and that was evident last year when the Colts made their run, when they had Andrew Luck as a quarterback. The Colts are the only NFL team that had the same starting lineup for offensive line in week 1 to that playoff game in which they lost. The continuity in the offensive line, if you go back and look at all your Super Bowl winners in the past, in the Super Bowl era since 1967, and almost all of them had the same offensive line from day one to the finish. Game number 2, this is a home dog that I got laughed at a little bit here. We're taking the Detroit Lions hosting the Minnesota Vikings. Now, I went against the Vikings when they were on the road at the Giants. I had taken the Giants. I got that one wrong as a home dog. But here, I'm going to revert back to my old ways, and I just think that the Lions and the Vikings, they know each other pretty well. Division rivalry. And I'm not getting much in points, but I think the Lions, after last week's embarrassment, they had Detroit beat again and let them get away. I think Matt Patricia's going to take a page out of his former boss's book, Bill Belichick, and he's going to ream his team a little bit. Detroit should be pretty nasty and angry about that loss, that they shouldn't have lost that game. So we'll talk about the NFC North and item number 3 here on the board in a bit. But we're looking for Lions to bounce back. I'm looking for Minnesota to revert back to its old ways and looking terrible on the road. Okay, game number 3. Another one I got laughed at a little bit. I'm breaking my own rule that when the look-ahead line had this game as Green Bay Packers -7.5 hosting the Oakland Raiders. I think the Raiders have turned the corner a little bit, and that's why we took them against Chicago in that London game a couple weeks ago. We were the only one in the whole entire pool, almost 500 people that took the Raiders. John Gruden is starting to gel the team somewhat. He's tweaked the team, and he's had a little bit of time. This is Gemini. This is Gemini. But anyway, I think Oakland's on the right path, and if they beat Chicago, and I think Chicago's in the same league as Green Bay. But the points dropped from 7.5, and there's what the MGM offshore had Green Bay -8 briefly, and the Sharps came in and jumped on that. Now we're looking at this fixed line from the Las Vegas Hilton, the Westgate, just down to 4.5. So we're losing 3.5 points value. And I normally don't take games like this, but the Packers are feeling pretty good about themselves. We're escaping the grass with Detroit. I think John Gruden's a better coach than Detroit's coach, and I think if you give John Gruden and start kicking his field goals and advantage and first down advantage, everything else that Detroit did to Green Bay, I think John Gruden's going to take a look at that tape. He already developed his game plan watching that game in his head. We're going to take the New Orleans Saints plus the 3.5 at Chicago Bears. The Saints may very well have the best team in the NFL. Teddy Bridgewater's won every game since he Drew Brees got hurt when they played the Rams. So Teddy Bridgewater's 4-0, and the first couple weeks he was a caretaker quarterback. You can see he's calling audibles now. He's checking off at the line, and he's a veteran quarterback. He's actually pretty good. He was good when the Vikings had him. So we're going to take the Saints, and we're going to ride the Saints until they lose one. And I'm just still not impressed with the Bears. Who's going to be the Bears quarterback? Is it going to be Trubisky, or is it going to be Chase Daniels? And you got my video for a couple weeks ago. I think Chase Daniels is the better quarterback. I'm not sold on Trubisky. Game number 5, the one they're trying not to laugh at me. We're taking the New York Jets at home, another home dog at 9.5. They're hosting the New England Patriots. The same thing here. The Jets, it's division rivalry. Sam Darnold's come back from his mono. Their momentum and their energy might last through this game here because New England is the big bad wolf. New England is Goliath. And the Jets are going to take their shot at trying to slay them. And then next week, the Jets will go back to what they are, just end the season Jets. And I'll be probably going against the Jets who they're playing. I haven't even looked yet. Because as you can see, teams can get it up for, it's like a poker player. They can get lucky for a tournament for an hour or two. But then when the luck runs out and when the other players make their adjustments, they get destroyed. So, and New England has injuries. They sprung some leaks in their ship here. And I think Belichick, he knows he's got the better team. He's going to game plan to keep the team healthy. And Monday night games, I smell rehearsal here. I think New England's going to get out to like a 14-3 halftime lead, and the Jets going to come back in the second half and get a kickoff return or kick a couple field goals and get it close. This thing opened at New England minus 14.5, and we're losing. Again, I'm going against my principles that we're losing 5 full points on here. It's almost as bad as the Raiders game we're losing on. So to recap really quick what our 5 games are going to be. We're going to take the Houston Texans +1, Detroit Lions +1, the Oakland Raiders +4.5, the New Orleans Saints +3.5, and the New York Jets +9.5. So I'm going against my own principles, and this is a do as I say, now as I do video. I'm looking for spots. I'm still trying to pick all underdogs, but it's getting tougher and tougher. The favorites are starting to cover. As you can see on the board, just some years the favorites cover. I mean, there's just, and let's talk about the board now. Okay, you can see the results year to date. We're 21-9-0. That's better than two out of 3, which is the goal. If I were in the actual contest, I would be placing. I would be getting money if I would be getting paid off. If this could hold up. Remember, 3 things can happen when you're handicapping a professional football game or any sport with a point spread. Is the favorite could win and destroy your points. But the other 2 things are good. So 3 things can happen, 2 out of 3 are good. The underdog could still lose the game but cover, or the underdog can win outright. That's your goal. Pick the underdog you think is going to win outright. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Other than the Jets game, I really don't think the Jets have a chance to beat them. But I think I'm looking for a cover. I'm looking for the rehearsal. I haven't talked about rehearsal much. That's part of the conspiracy theory thing. The dogs, the underdogs are 9-5. That's okay. But I'm starting to see a shift in these games are really hard. These games are really close. Look how many 1-point games we had last weekend. Okay, item number 2, the home teams. Week 6, 7 wins, 8 losses. There's some good sites you can look online, footballreference.com. Item number 3, the NFC North, the best division in football. Every team's at least 500. The Detroit Lions bring up the rear with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a tie. Detroit could very well be 5-0. We'll see how long that holds up, but as of right now, NFC North is the best team in football.